Number 11. My opinions, my beliefs. You know, it's amazing me how much coverage Donald has been getting lately with all these black people that he's supposed to be really close to that he's never been close to his entire life. I mean, you got him kissing little black babies and kissing little black children and sending black people to college, calling them, out of the crowd onto the stage and giving them jobs, and got a black guy crying about how great he is and sobbing, which I covered in one of my other stories. And now they got him sitting around a great big giant round table, and they're sitting there talking. He's got a black priest next to him, and they're talking. And there's a lady that's kind of like a little creamish color next to him on the other side. And the camera's slowly moving back. And as it's moving back away from Donnie, you can see all the other black people sitting around the table until you get back. And it's nothing but one white person, Donnie, and a whole bunch of black people sitting around this table. Boy, can you lay the lies on. It's a good thing they hire actors and actresses. I mean, they need to hire some good ones that actually going to pull off something that's believable. Sit there and pose like, you're going to read a book, which, I doubt if you ever do. And now you got all these black people surrounding you never had surrounding you before. If you want to prove that you're not a prejudice, you want to prove that you like black people, why don't you do something that's really going to fucking impress everybody? Why don't you go out and start arresting all these people in the KKK and then the neo-Nazis, people running around, and skinheads running around, all these people promoting racism and hate and stuff like that. They're criminal terrorists. Why don't you put those people in prison and press us and show us how much of a person you are, that you're not prejudiced and you're going to take care of people? Why don't you do that instead of sitting around here with these actors and stuff that you're paying, obviously, to sit there with you, or you're just having poor people come in and they're just going to do it for the hopes that you're going to turn into a decent human being, or you promised them something for it or something, who knows. You want to really show what you are, let all them kids out of the cages that you ripped away from the parents. Leave the Mexicans alone. Let them live here. They've been here forever, way before you were ever in office. Why don't you do something to really show what a good human being you supposedly are? Put the real criminal terrorists in prison. Don't be selling our weapons to Saudi Arabia when they're buying sex slaves from ISIS, delivering them to Saudi Arabia, and they're not on the travel ban. And then Saudi Arabia's, they got the band of brothers has got their home base there. That's another big terrorist organization. It's got terrorist cells all over the world, attack people all the time, attack the Americans, and was behind 9/11. But they got their base in Saudi Arabia, get their weapons from Saudi Arabia, get financed by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia buys sex slaves from ISIS that was a mercenary group up to about 3 years ago, and all of a sudden became terrorists, and you're going over there selling hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayers' money that paid for it and weapons to the people that's attacking us, and they're not even on this stupid travel ban that you supposedly got. It's nothing to do with anything, because the only people that are banned from coming here are the people that are the victims of all these other people that work for you. The ISIS and these mercenary groups that you hire and stuff to pretend to be terrorists, that you're the terrorist. That's all there is to it. You want to do something to really prove that you're a good person, then why don't you just give everybody free Medicare, Medicaid, give everybody free health insurance, because you can do it. I know how to do it. I can teach you how to do it if you really want to learn how to be a good person. I can show you how to give everybody free medical. Everybody on the globe, not just in the United States, because that's one thing you need to quit doing. You need to quit separating us from everybody else. The only thing that needs to be separated is the criminals like you from us, not everybody around the world. We're all equal. Everybody in every country is all equal. Everybody from every race is all equal. Everybody from every sex is all equal. Everybody from every sexual preference or taste in fashion clothes that they want to wear or whatever are all equal. It don't matter what they wear. It don't matter what color they are. It don't matter what their gender is. It don't matter what their age is. None of that shit matters. It don't matter what their religion is. It don't matter what their culture is. They're all equal. You're not better than anybody else. You're worse than everybody else. You are the criminals. You need to be locked up. You need to be put in cages. You need to be put on that prison island like I got in my PAM plan. And that's one step better than you do for anybody else, because it's a paradise. At least you'll get to live out your days in happiness in your little Hateville on your own little private island. And then you don't have to worry about everybody else that you don't like being around anymore, because you'll be all by yourselves over there with all your little KKK and your neo-Nazis and your Confederate flags and your skinheads and whatever else, you know, your pedophiles, your rapists, your thieves, your murderers. You'll be happy in your own little Hateville. And we'll be happy without you, because we can finally move on, and the human race can finally become what they're supposed to be, because I'm getting tired of waiting for them to catch up. It's time to catch up. We need to get rid of you in order to do this, because you're holding everybody back. You know, it's time. It's time for things to change. I mean, the time is here. The 45th president, even Nostradamus predicted the 45th president was going to be the last one, because it's time for a king to rule. In the eyes of goddesses and gods, presidents are nothing. Only kings are allowed to rule this land, or any land. And this land is our land, and you need to leave. This is a land of rainbow people. Everybody from every place in the world, every nation, acting as one nation. A rainbow tribe. This is what we are. This is what we've always been. And if you don't like it, you can leave, because we don't want you here. You know, if you want to build a wall, let's build it around Washington, because Washington, D.C. is not even part of the United States. Washington, D.C. is British Columbia territory. That's right. So if you want to build a wall and want to build a prison, let's build it around Washington and lock all these politicians in there. And you want a travel ban? Let's take the airports out of that thing, so there ain't no airports in there. They won't be able to fly anywhere. Cut off their things. Don't forget the underground tunnels that they got going all the way to Springfield, Missouri, where the Illuminati and the government's got their secret underground bases that they got hidden there. You know, like on Simpsons. Well, it's a real deal. I mean, they got Springfield, Missouri is the real deal. It's the only place, you know, it's in the Ozarks, and if you do your little geological and do some research on things and how things are, you'll find out there ain't never been no sea life there, because it ain't never been underwater. So when the planet flips, guess what? There ain't going to be no water there. And the Ozarks is a great place, because you got all kinds of stuff that grows there, all kinds of medicines and everything. You know, they got their little private bases there. If you want $1 million, you got $1 million, you can buy you a little spot in there, you know, for your business and stuff. They got these underground storage places that all these great big huge corporations has food stockpiled in and everything, supplies, medical supplies. They got semi trucks. They got great big giant tunnel systems going everywhere. They got a tunnel system that runs all the way underneath of Washington, D.C., all the way there and back and all over the place. These people's been busy, and they've been building it all with your tax money, with your blood and sweat, you know. So it's time to figure out, you know, the evil people that you're all going to church and praying to are the evil people you're all going to church and praying to. Yeah, you're worried about selling your soul, and you already sold it. And then, you know, you sold your soul, and you gave them money too in the tray. You know, you pass that plate around, you know. You might say whatever you want about our beliefs and our goddesses or whatever you want, but our goddesses don't beg for money and pass trays around every day. You know, we don't have great big giant churches that look like mansions and royal mansions when you walk into it. We do all of our praying outside. We do all of our worship outside in the meadows, you know, in Mother Nature where it was intended to be, you know. You guys live a life of sin and vanity and lust and greed and gluttony, and I mean, it's all the same. It's just You're sinners, and you go to church and try to pretend like you're not when you are. And then the people you go to church to, most of them are raping your kids while you're there, and you're paying them to do it because you're putting money in the collection plate. And then when they get caught, they just bribe you with the money that you gave them. Just like the damn Pope, and the Catholic Church, but they're not the only ones who do it. No, like I told you before, not all priests are bad, not all churches are bad, but when you got churches that you walk into and it's a great big mess, and you know where your money's going. If you want to invest in people that are out there trying to help people, the real churches, the mom and pop churches in the little towns and the cities and stuff, the ones that's got food kitchens, the ones that's got, you know, they got food pantries for poor people or people with hard times to come and get food to help supplement the things. They do clothes drives for the kids. They give blankets and stuff to the homeless. It's people that give back to the communities and build the community stronger, and they take care of their neighbors and stuff. This is what you want to support. Not somebody that's living in a mansion. Why do you want to support somebody that steals from you? You're living on your money. You go there to throw it in the golden plate, and they buy all this stuff, and they're living a life of luxury, and you're going there praying for a better life, trying to buy your way into this pretend heaven. You understand something. There ain't no heaven. There ain't no hell. If there's a hell, you're already here. That's all beyond the concept. There's the universe. Nobody ever dies. Just the vessels die. You're not the vessel. It's just like a car. You're just driving it. When it comes time to check in, it's the end of one journey and the beginning of the next. That's all it is. You're just given new vessels. Some people, if you're trained to do it, you can recall who you are, but you're not born with that knowledge because the infant brain would not be able to handle that much knowledge because it's not developed. Your hands are not even all the way connected until you get past 15, 16 years old. Your fingers are not even all the way connected together. All that stuff's encoded, like I told you before, it's encoded into the universe. It's encoded into your DNA. It's encoded into all of our DNA. It's encoded into every DNA. And even though we're different species, from me and you are different, but we are got some together because this is how it works. The back part of your brain, on you, that's the aquatic, and me, that's the aquatic. Okay, from there on up, from me, that's all reptilian. From you, middle section reptilian. Front section is where the monkey DNA comes in, from the rhesus monkey. And don't let anybody try and tell you that that's not true, because it is true. It's been proven over and over again, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, come on. Monkeys are 99.9% close to being your relatives. So I mean, you got just a little tiny, don't even matter separating you. You're close to pigs too, and like Nostradamus said, when the time the pigs have joined the brother of man. Well, we are growing pigs that's got human blood to use their organs for transplants. So I'm going to say that's become the brother and sisters of man and women, if you ask me, because I'm not a chauvinist. I give women credit. I don't separate them. You got to get rid of this this, man that. That's all stuff designed to belittle women. It should be people or humans or beings, and not separated by sex. Nobody should be separated from each other to begin with, because we're all the same. No matter what species you are, we're all the same. We're all made of the same stardust. We all come from the same place. And it's pointless to kill each other. So you need to stop. You need to grow up. You need to figure things out. You need to get rid of these bad people, because they're just here using you. They use you every day, and you're going without, and you're suffering. And haven't you had enough of suffering? Haven't you had enough of going without? Haven't you had enough of seeing your kids, go without, and how you always feel like the loser to your kids and everything because you can't afford to give them all this nice stuff because the people you work for has got more than they ever deserve while you do all the work and you get nothing, This is not the way a society should be designed, and it don't need to be designed that way. We could have free education for everybody around the world. You know, it's in my PAN plan, like I've said before. We could have free health care for everybody around the world in my PAN plan. You know, there should be never anybody homeless on this planet. I mean, that's just, there's no reason. I mean, money don't even exist. You created money. The rich people created money. Okay, the corrupted rich people. I'm sorry, the corrupted rich people. You know, so they can use it for a tool to control you with. So literally, you know, it's only worth what they say it's worth. So, you know, we can print as much as we want, because if you want to value it on gold, there's gold everywhere in the universe. Like I've told you before, there's gold through all out the place, everywhere. You know, diamonds all over the place. The only thing that gives them value is the leaders, the people in control, that gives it a value. I mean, they could look and say, hey, a rock over here. Look at this pink rock. That's worth $100, and all these pink rocks are worth. You know, now we got something else we can base the currency on. Print, 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 print. You know, so why can't we just fix everything and get it over with? Because when it comes right down to it, the only thing we really need is necessities. We need a good home to live in. We need good clothes and stuff to wear, you know, to be decent, food to eat so nobody's ever hungry, you know, clean water, hot water for baths so everybody's clean, you know. I mean, we need necessities, vehicles or whatever, horse and buggy to get around, but we don't need oil and coal. We could use electric, you know, we could use solar power. We could use wind power. We could use water turbines. I mean, there's just so many alternatives that we don't have to destroy our environment and kill ourselves and make ourselves sick in the process, along with everything else that's living on this planet. It's just stupid, and we need to stop it. You know, you need to stop it, because I'm not doing it. You're doing it. It's the human race doing it, because they're allowing these frickin' lizards to stole control from my family, you know, so long ago that it's, you know, it's, and they twist it around, so I'm not even going to waste my time trying to explain that, because, you know, it's just a long argument. Oh, well, that's not what this is. Well, you want to talk about fake media? Guess what? Fake religions, fake history, fake media, conspiracy theory. Wrap it all up into one, because it's all the same thing. Anything you want to just look at, anybody can point at something and say, hey, fake media. Well, I'm going to tell you what, when you got to go out of your way to sell yourself as not being a prejudiced person by surrounding yourself with a round table with bunches of black people, and you kissing black babies and doing all these good deeds, you know, at the age of 70 something, then you're overselling yourself, because you're showing everybody exactly you are the opposite of what you're showing everybody. Or you wouldn't be going out of your way to try to prove that you're not that. You know, you're a terrible actor at that. You know, you're not even a good beauty queen, Judge. So, whatever. Nobody's buying the bullshit. You can put all your fake stories on. Let's see all these pre-recorded stuff, you know, when you were, you know, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Let's see all these black people surrounding you through your whole entire life, instead of it just recently, because you want to look good in front of the public and try to clean up polish your act up to look what you're not, because you're not. You're not that. You're a racist pig. You're a chauvinist. You're a hateful person. You rip children away from their family. You punish people because they believe a different religion. You punish people because they're a different color. You punish people because you think they're not what they're supposed to be, and you're nobody's judge. You're a freaking nutcase, and you need to be locked up. I mean, that's all there is to it. You all need to be locked up. You're all the same. Every Republican, every Democrat, every politician. You know, they're all the same. There might be some good sprinkled in here and there, just a little bit. You know, there might be a few good ones in there, but not enough to make a freaking difference, and they just stand by and let everybody else do the bad. Just like, look at all these cops. If you got a good cop, he's not a good cop, because he's sitting there letting all these bad cops get away with committing crimes, raping kids, murdering people, and all kinds of stupid shit, embezzling money from people, extorting money from them, making them buy stuff, Well, I'm going to give you a ticket if you don't buy these officer tickets to the bar or some stupid shit they try to force you to buy, which has happened plenty of times, and they've been busted for it. It's on camera. I mean, and it just goes away. It don't matter because there is no real law. There's just a set of rules for slaves, and you're the slaves. And they're the slave keepers, and the politicians are the wardens of the slave keepers, and the higher up corrupt rich people that control everything, the puppet masters, are your slave masters. So that's all there is to it. I mean, figure it out. I mean, it's just a big game. I mean, they can do whatever they want. They can rape 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and then become the president of the United States because it doesn't matter. They got so much money, they just make it go away. And now, they get an investigation. Well, just fire the guy that's investigating them. I mean, if you're an innocent person, why are you going to fire the person that's investigating you unless you got something to hide? And a witch hunt, well, that's pretty funny coming from an inquisitor, calling, somebody saying that, the inquisitor's trying to claim that everybody's witch hunting them. I mean, that's a joke. So whatever, I mean, your actions speak louder than your words. Your words are all lies, but your actions tell the truth. Look what you're doing. Let's see what you're really good. Let's have 100% free Medicaid for everybody on the globe. Let's do that right now. Let's see how good of a person you really are. You want to show some good to everybody? Let's get that going. Break out them freaking cameras. Break out them mics. Fire up the news. Let's get this baby announced. You're going to pass global health insurance for everybody on the planet. You're going to pass global education for everybody on the planet. You're going to tell all the leaders of every country and everything that you want them to come together, and you're going to have a little sit down with me, and we're all going to make a plan on how we're going to turn this into one big giant global community. And if you do that, by golly, we'll work with you. But if not, then you need to just leave. But I want you just to leave anyway. But I'm a fair person. I try to go out of my way to be as good as I can be, which is more than I can say for you. But I'm not going to be like you. I'm not going to stoop to your level. But I will not be pushed around by you, and I will not be made a fool of you. And if it comes right down to it, you will be going to that island, and you will be spending the rest of your days there with all of you and yours. You're all going to be there because we're tired of you infecting our society with your mental illnesses. I mean, you just want to kill people. That's all. We can't have that. I mean, murder's off the table. No more murdering people. We can't do it anymore. It's not allowed. I mean, it's a sin for one thing in a lot of religions. It's just plain not nice to murder people, especially when you're killing children and stuff. No more of this travel ban and laws. You want to prove you're not prejudiced and you're a good person and you're not a coward? Well, we don't need laws. What do we need a law for? We existed without laws way before you came. We don't need walls. We don't need fences. We don't need borders. You want to be a good person? Get rid of them borders. Get rid of them fences. Get rid of them walls. Get rid of them travel bans. Let them children out of them cages. Let them poor refugees that you got, them poor immigrants out of the cages and prison camps. Let all them homeless people free that you've been gathering up and putting in FEMA/prison camps and filling your private prisons up. Because Donnie alone, he has either owns or has stocks in over 100 prisons that I know of. And just like Jeff Sessions there, he's got money invested in that as well. And that's why they want so many more, because they're getting rich off of it. Because there's different levels of slavery is what you don't understand. Everybody's a slave. 99% of the population is a slave. Okay? But there's different levels of slavery. You got your working slave, like your average or minimum wage people. Then you got your higher up class slaves, like the house slave. They get a little bit extra, a little bit more benefits because they're the house slave. But then you got, the lower class slaves that are way down at the bottom, and those are the prisoners, all the innocent people that they force into crime and stuff because they're starving everybody. you know, and they're forcing people into crime. And look, I've discussed it with you before, so I'm not going to keep going over it. So, if you're paying attention, and if you're watching all my videos, you know, well, I should say listening to them, and I will be doing some here soon. I just got to get my makeup on, and I'll be making some live videos, and not just verbal videos. But yeah, we need to change your society, and we need to get rid of these people in order to do it. And we need to not have slavery anymore, because you know, I mean, they don't even hide it. It's called minimum wage. It's not even called fair wage. It's minimum. It's the bare minimum that they're going to give you. It's not even fair wage. And we don't need that anymore. See, in the PAN plan, you know, we control all the businesses because we send our own people in there, and our own people take care of all the businesses, and the owners pretty much just sit there in the passenger seat. So the PAN plan has got it to where our own people go in, they keep track of all the books, they keep track paying all the bills, and all the income for labor costs goes straight into the community council, which is the global community council. Okay, now the global community council issues everybody a card. By the time when you turn 18 years old, you got a global community council card. This is going to be your pay card, your credit card, your birth certificate, your social security, your pictured ID, all wrapped up in the one card. So we're cutting out tons of cost because we're not going to have all these separate cards coming from all over the place. It's just going to be one card does everything. Okay, all the financing, we're going to close all the banks down and all the credit card places down. We're going to close them down. It's going to be the merchants and the Community Global Council cards only. So now there ain't no going to be any hacking or anything on anybody's accounts or anything, because it's only strictly from the merchant to us, and the merchant has one of our people there sending to our people here. So we're going to cut a lot of that out. That's going to cut a lot of debt expenses out. That's going to cut a lot of crime out. We cut expenses out. We can afford to do more stuff for people. We can get more stuff. We're going to give the money straight to the community council. And this is how it works. When you're with your family gets a lot of money per individual, per couple, per family. Okay. Until you hit 18. Once you hit 18, you become your own person. You become an adult. And as soon as you hit 18, you get a global community council card that activates. And you start getting paid that very day. Don't even matter if you got a job or not. I know it sounds crazy, but it'll work. Because crazy. Let me put it this way. Pure, true genius lives on the edge of insanity. So, it'll work. Anyway, as soon as you turn 18, no matter what you're doing, you ain't got a job, it don't matter. Boom, bada, boom, you get a community council card. And that baby's got money on it, and there'll be money on it every week. Now, nobody does anything for free in our society. Everybody's got to earn their keep, regardless if you're going to school, because, you know, if you're going to school, that's what you need to do. Because our children are our future. And it is our responsibility as adults to make sure that our children inherit a beautiful world with the best education that they can get. This means we need to clean up our environment. We need to clean up all of our cities and everything. We need to go in and clean up all these slums and everything and fix it all. Then we're going to have people doing that. Community council card. We got all kinds of workers now. Everybody that's 18 years or older is now a global community council employee. And you will be assigned jobs and duties. Now, this is how it works, because this is how I was raised. We're not going to keep you on the same job. we're going to let you do one job this year, and then I'm going to rotate you to another job next year, and then we'll rotate you to another job next year, and then we'll rotate you to another job next year, and vice versa. And we're going to keep people moving around, keep things, spicy. Just a lot better if it's spicy. But anyway, we'll keep things moving. And you're going to get a month's paid vacation every year. But it's going to be broke up either. I ain't figured it out yet. Not all the way. It's not going to be a 30-day vacation. It might probably going to be 2-week, 2 vacations. So 2-week vacations, one every 6 months. Or maybe a week vacation, one every 3 months. But we'll get right down to the nitty gritty. But you're going to get a lot of vacation time. You're going to get a lot of education, because we're going to go through the education system in the PAN plan, and we're getting rid of all the junk, like I told you before. Everybody's going to be hitting college at the age of 14, and they're going to be graduating college at the age of 20, hitting the job market. Now, you also got another option besides hitting the job market. You can also become you could join the Guardian Corps, which is like going to be our military policing outfit. Or you could join our, corps that goes around the world and helps people. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities. You could travel the world just helping people and spend a year here and a year there in different countries, helping people build stuff, getting their communities straightened out, and putting wells or whatnot in. Or, you can join Global Guard, just protect the community and everything, because we're going to try and never go to war. War is off the table. We can't have wars. If anybody's got a problem, as far as I'm concerned, like I said in one of my previous recordings, as far as I'm concerned, if anybody's got a problem with another country, we've always got a ring that we can stick those two with, and they can work it out between themselves, and the rest of us, we'll drink some pop, eat some popcorn, eat some hot dogs. We'll have a good time watching these idiots beat the hell out of each other, and we'll save tons of money and billions of dollars not building weapons, and tons of lives we ain't going to be getting murdered, and tons of heartbreaks and funerals and stuff that we ain't got to worry about, and destroying our environment with all the waste and everything from it. So, this is a win-win-win all the way around, and I would love to see old Donnie going up against Putin there one-on-one in a ring, because his mouth won't save his ass then, and neither will his lies. So, because I'll tell you, you can say what you want about Mr. Putin, but as far as I'm concerned, he's a good guy. He's a straight shooter. He might be the president of Russia. Don't get me wrong. Don't try and twist this into some stupid shit, because I don't believe any country should be warring with each other. So, it's not that. This is my country. This country belonged to my family way before my other family showed up and murdered most of my family, but we're still here. So, now some of my family, murdered some of my other family, got control, but we're going to get it back. I am the true leader, the true ruler. And I want to take care of my people, and that's their problem. You're all my people, all 99% of the poor people. You're all my people. I love every one of you. And these rich people need to just stay away from you. They're my blood, but you're my family. You're all related to me too. And I'm more related to them because they're my actual blood. All 13 families. But let me tell you, and there's a lot of little subdivisions, sub-families too. So there's a lot of them there. But you're all my family. They're my blood, but we can't choose who is our family. But we can choose what's right and wrong. And if your family is representing what's wrong and it's hurting people, then it's your responsibility to stand up and protect those people. And this is what my family has handed down from generation to generation to generation. We could all live wealthy, but we don't. We're priests, and we're workers, and laborers, and businessmen, and lawyers, and police, and politicians, and cab drivers, and restaurant owners. And we're everywhere. We're military, and we're everywhere. So we've got hundreds of thousands and millions of faces everywhere, different voices, and even my voice. If you listen to me long enough and you listen to enough of my recordings, you'll see my voice changes a lot. I don't always sound the same, but I am the same person. It's just my voice changes all the time. And it could happen, throughout different recordings, or it could happen throughout the same recording. And I don't have no control over it. It just happens, But you got a choice. You got a choice in life of what path you're going to take and what type of being you're going to be to everybody else, and what type of ruler. And if you're a ruler and all you care about is personal gain and shiny objects and expensive items and what your appearance looks like, you got to have a gold toilet to sit on, as I said before, or, you're not a ruler, because true treasure of a kingdom is its people. Because without its people, there is no kingdom. And without a kingdom, there is no king. So then you're a ruler of nothing, except for stupidity. And you've got that covered aces. But you need to change. Now, my namesake is St. Lawrence. And when the High Kings and stuff came in and they took over, and they ordered him to bring, because he was also the treasurer, and they ordered him to present the treasure to him, he presented them all the poor, the lame, the blind, the disabled, the weak. And the fancy High Kings asked him, and they said, well, where is our treasure? And he said, this is the treasure. This is our greatest treasure in the kingdom, is our people. Do you know what his reward was? He was burned alive at the stake, because they wanted their gold, their diamonds, their jewels, their little boblets that they make valuable to begin with. So they killed him, burned him alive at the stake, for presenting something real as a treasure, rather than something fake that's worth nothing. And this is the kind of society that you have now, because of these kind of leaders that you let control you, that you let run you. So, yeah. Yeah, Donnie, if you want to show everybody that you're not a prejudiced guy, and you're a great guy, and you really want to be a humanitarian, and you want to help people, you need to do it on a global scale. You need to man up. You need to let those huevos drop and act like a man. Because, quite frankly, I would rather have a woman in charge, because a woman's 1,000 times better than you any day. And I love women. I kind of get off on women being in charge, but that's just me. But, hey, I think the world would be better that way. Sometimes you need to compromise. You need to open your mind, and you need to understand that your way is over. We got the internet, that's your problem, but the cat's out of the bag now. I mean, you could just try to take the internet away and try to bully people around and drag people back out and start having your witch burnings, in the public, to scare people and to doing what you want, because that's what you do. Politicians and the church and the big churches and everything, you know, you break out your little inquisitors and killing people in the name of your so-called God or whatever. But what God would even want somebody like you representing them? I don't know, because my goddess does not believe in that. You know, she believes in, and this is not a biblical term either, creation. I mean, you guys got to steal everything, even words now, and say it's yours. But no, nothing's yours. You steal everything. You steal our culture. You steal our history. You steal our children. Steal our lives. Steal our money. Steal our, well, our hard-earned um, benefits from what we do. Our harvest. So, what do we need you for? That's why I gotta keep asking everybody. And what are we gonna do about these priests and pedophiles? You know, what's this stuff that you're trying to normalize pedophilia? You're gonna lower the charges for pedophilia, for rape, for sexual crimes. What is wrong with you? If anything, we need to increase the penalties. Why do these people even get back out again? Why do you release them back out into the public to go out and hurt more innocent people? Oh, that's right. Because they're like you. Because that's what you are. It's what all you politicians and you government leaders, you corrupted people are. You're pedophiles. You're racist. You're rapists. You're chauvinists. You're pigs. You're murderers. You're thieves. You're liars. Liars, 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 some more. And you hire liars. And you appoint people in the courts that are criminals and liars. And then you only prosecute innocent people that you force into crime from the way you designed the government. Because, you know, my great uncle, Alexander Hamilton, originally designed this government, but you guys twisted things around. Just like the original Constitution, you know, you rewrote it a few years afterwards, and now that's the copy everybody sees. But it's not the real one. Well, you know, Constitution is only good for the United States of America. So, and it still starts out as we the people. Not I, the president, or we, the politicians, or we, the corrupted rich corporations, or we, the corrupted banking institutions, or we, the corrupted family, or the corrupted people. It's we, the people of the United States of America. And that's everybody, as I've told you before. That's every black person, white person, Chinese, Mexican, Japanese, Asian, Indian, Native American. It's everybody. You know, everything you could think of. Italian, Scottish, Irish. It's everybody, you know, from around the world. Spanish, Mexicans. I already said Mexicans, but I love Mexicans. They're good people. So I'm going to mention them twice. It's everybody. You need to figure that out. You know. So if you want to prove that you're not a racist member of the KKK like your dad was, and grandpa before him, then you need to actually get out there and actually do something besides taking a few pictures with some black people next to you. Yep, you need to get out there and you need to put these hate groups back on the terrorist list that you took them off of. And you need to throw them all in prison for multiple crimes against humanity. That's what you need to do. So, so if you're not prejudiced by arresting all the KKK, all the neo Nazis, all the skinheads, anybody that's in a hate group, and I don't care what color you are, if you're a hater, you need to leave. I'm sorry. You know? Now, I'm not talking about the innocent people that are just trying to protect themselves. I'm talking about KKK kind of hate groups that's been around forever and just cause havoc to everybody and burn crosses in people's yards, and drag people out of their house and hang them in the trees and rape them and burn them alive in churches and whatnot. I mean, these are evil people. And they need to be locked up. They need to be taken out of society. And they need to be taken out of society forever. Never allowed back in. And this is the only way that we're going to be able to fix things, to make things right. We need to stop the immediate use of coal and fossil fuels and nuclear power and nuclear weapons. We need to stop importing and exporting. Stop hauling oil and stuff across our oceans that have spills. Start building up our own communities in our own countries, going through, cleaning everything up, giving everybody decent housing, like I've said before, that's in my PAN plan. If you do that, make sure nobody goes hungry. Make sure there's no homeless there, Donnie. Show everybody what a good guy you are by giving the homeless people lots of food and a place to live so there's nobody homeless. And I'm talking about on a global scale. But you can start here for a start, but on a global scale. Give everybody free medical, like I've said. You do that, Donnie, and we'll see. We'll see what a good person you are. You need to take and you need to follow my PAN plan, Donnie. This is what you need to do. Now, I'm your cousin. You need to listen to me. You know, I'm the Druid High King, Serpent King of the Druid Serpent Clan, of the Rainbow Warriors, of the new Global Community Council, of so many more groups that it would just take way too long to list. So, you know, I'm not leaving you all, none of you all out. I can only put a few up there, so I tried to put the top key ones that has been noticed forever, and everybody hears. Excuse me. They're more recognizable, more recognized because they've been around a lot longer. So, except for the new community, the new Global Community Council, that's fairly new. But we've had councils forever, so that's not new. We need to straighten everything out. I mean, I'm sick of the way everything is. I'm tired of it. You know, I can't even turn on the TV without seeing some kind of disgusting crap going on in the world, or somebody running their mouth about gonna start a war here or start a war there. I mean, if that's all you are, you have no business in charge. This is not the kind of people we need in charge. We need people that's gonna seek out peace. We need people that's gonna open and greet people to our country with open arms and love. You know, of course we gotta do something about the criminals, the real criminals, not the forced criminals, the poor innocent poor people just trying to survive and just starving them to death and killing them with your poisons. No, We need to start loaning money to the small farmers, investing in them, investing in the community. You need to take and you need to get a hold of me, and we need to sit down and we need to really come up with a better plan. With my plan, we need to expand that because that's just a brief description. It's just the beginning, a small sample of the things that I want to change to create a better global civilization for all of us. And this is what we need to do. And anybody that's not on board or anybody that just wants to keep creating more hate and running their mouths and stuff, they need to be taken out and put in that prison island. And they can stay there. But I'm on here and I try to talk to people, and I sometimes I get upset, and I get a little carried away. I might be a little hard on the words and stuff, but I'm an Aries, and that's just the way I am. I'm a true Aries, and I'm bluntly honest, And I believe everybody should be bluntly honest. I'd rather you be bluntly honest with me because that's just the way I am. I mean, I don't want people to give me a bunch of bullshit lies and deceit because as soon as you do that, I can't trust you anymore. And all them politicians up there has been doing nothing but lying. So we can't trust them anymore. They're criminals. The evidence is everywhere. You can call whatever you want fake news. It don't matter. I can see what you're doing with my own eyes. I'm not blind. And no offense against blind people. I'm sorry, but, I can see what's happening, and so can billions of others, and, and everybody around the world. Like I've said before, the whole world's laughing at us because this idiot we got in control of things, and he's just a big blowhard. It's all about his image, and all we've done since he's been in office is watched him cover up the stuff he's done since he's been in office. It's all been one big criminal fest, and give themselves money and go treat themselves trips to their fancy golf courses that they own, that they spend our tax dollars to go to. So it's going in their pockets, Selling our weapons to terrorists, to countries that support terrorists. So you're a terrorist, You're all criminal terrorists, and you're using our tax dollars to supply these other criminal terrorists that you hire weapons that you make from our tax money to kill us and our children. So, why do we keep you? Why do we even have you here? Why haven't you been locked up? And I find it kind of funny that, at one time Donnie was looking into buying the Twin Towers there. Being a real estate agent or whatnot, you'd get the copy of the plans for it that would, tell you the weak points or whatnot of where you would want to set explosives. Being a real estate developer and construction companies and stuff, he's probably got access to people that knows about explosives if he don't know explosives himself because he is a licensed weapons dealer with arms dealer with contracts with our own Department of Defense, and he also has weapon manufacturers that he owns or has stocks in or whatnot, or some way tied to. So he gets the plan supposedly because he's going to buy the Twin Towers, but then he decides not to buy the Twin Towers, but one of his other friends buys the Twin Towers, and then when it gets hit on 9/11. Guess who calls in? Well, Donnie calls in, and he's talking live on the radio about how he's watching the Twin Towers, being crumbling and stuff from the window of his Trump Towers or whatnot, or his penthouse from wherever it was. And he's on the radio talking about how him and his friends are all sitting there watching us. Well, of course, because they knew what was going to happen. He had the blueprints, and they hide it, but there was explosives that were set off besides the planes hitting it. So, I mean, you don't get that kind of destruction just from the planes hitting it. No, there was explosives, and there's eyewitnesses saying there was explosives going off all the way down through there. So, and the guy that his buddy that ended up buying it was there with him, also watching the Twin Towers that he bought being destroyed, with Donnie that had the schematics to be able to tell how to plan this, that has connections with the same band of brothers that live in Saudi Arabia that he just sold weapons to Saudi Arabia to give to since that happened. So he's even dealing with the people that attacked the Twin Towers that he was supposedly going to buy, that had the schematics to be able to tell where to set explosives and whatnot, that had his friend there that did buy it, that out of nowhere increased the insurance by millions of dollars before the attack happened, and him and his best employees didn't go to work that day, but everybody else did. Now, how does that all add up? And then look at the Pentagon, because the Pentagon gets hit too, right? The Pentagon. Well, Donnie's got Department of Defense contracts with the Pentagon, plus he's also got construction companies, and the side of the Pentagon that got hit was being rebuilt, was being redone. And the funny thing about it is where they kept all the records, and there's a big investigation going on, all this money coming up missing. And so when they got hit, it destroyed all those records. Now, and it was under construction, so nobody was in there. But the funny thing is, my contacts tell me that the material that they built it with the first time when it was under construction was substandard material. It was not material that would be used. It was really low grade. And they charge the taxpayers for high-grade material. But after the attack happens, and they rebuild it the second time, they use the high-grade material. The first time, they used low-grade material. Like they already knew it was going to be destroyed, so they didn't bother using the high-grade material, but yet charged the taxpayers for the high-grade material, and they kept the extra money for themselves. And, it's kind of funny. Donnie owns construction companies and stuff and has ties with the Pentagon and had ties with the Twin Towers and whatnot, and all this is going on. And now he's selling, weapons to the same country in Saudi Arabia that finance and gives weapons to the band of brothers in ISIS that attack us, and they're not on the travel ban. So you're trying to explain that to me, because I don't understand it. Because it's all lies. The only countries on travel ban are the countries that ISIS and them got sex slaves that they're taking out of. ISIS has sex slaves that they're running, and it's an international sex slave ring. It's children through adults, sex slaves through prostitution, and it's in 21 countries. And just so happens, 21 of those countries happens to be 21 out of 25 or 26 countries that Donnie has businesses in all over the world. Because he's got like over 500 something businesses, if not more, scattered all over the world. That's another thing. If he's all worried about American jobs and everything, why don't he bring all these businesses back here instead of having them over there? And here we had all these jobs lined up that, all the people that were doing coal and fossil fuels and whatnot, well, they were going to get trained on how to do the green energy for solar and wind and all that. They were going to get free education and job placement with good paying jobs with good paying medical and everything on these green energy programs that Donnie shot down. And then they got picked up by China, so China's doing them now, and China invested over $380 billion. And Apple is investing in China's solar, which Donnie has stocks in Apple. So actually he's investing in the solar power that the jobs were going to come to America that he sent to China. And then we kept producing the oil and stuff that's making everybody sick and killing everybody. And then takes everybody's insurance and stuff away. So you're not a good guy. You can make all the phony videos and stuff you want, but you're not a good guy. And we're coming up to the end of our time. So I want to tell everybody, don't fall for all these lies. Use your eyes. See what you can see. You know the truth. The real fake news is your politicians. They're all liars and thieves. They're all criminals. And we need to put the power back into the average people's hands, like in my pan plan.